we've been doing this project in our backyard to get pavers so that we could have like a nice seating area during the summer. And I thought it was going to be a great idea to put our market lights up while my husband was at work. Wrong. Horrible idea. I dropped all of them. I dropped all of them, and our nice brand new patio that we just got today, fully finished, has glass everywhere. So, long story short, I'm going to spend the remaining 20 minutes of my lunch break reading Babel. I was hoping to have everything ready so that tonight I had a cute little sitting area to read, but no, we're just gonna move Babel up. We're moving Babel up. She's getting read right now. I'm gonna ignore everything that just happened. Okay, the 20 minutes are done. I'm on page 170-ish. Loving it. Actually, I don't know if loving it is the right word. I don't know if it's love or like I'm just so intrigued by the concept of how the magic system works in this book, like talking about the dissonance between translation. I think it's so interesting, and I really am enjoying just learning about these different words. I feel like I'm getting smarter reading this book is really what it is. It kind of makes me want to like go back to school, low-key, and learn more about the history of languages. But it is a little slow-paced, I will say that. This is definitely a book that's not meant for everyone. I don't think everyone can bear through this book at all. We have a light, my beautiful palm tree, lights, I love it. I know you couldn't really see my face, but the vibes are good. We're set up, we have Babel, pen, pencil, sticky notes, tabs, water bottle, mosquito candle in case, we stay a little late. But I'm excited, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get right into it. As much as I want to keep reading tonight, I did promise my husband we would watch One Piece, so I am gonna have to stop it at page 188. The last few pages, or this last chapter, pretty intense. I'm scared for Griffin. The way this chapter ended makes me scared for Griffin. And that's what I'm gonna say because I'm trying to not put too many spoilers in this video. I don't know, the plot is picking up though. The plot is picking up. Before I really call it a night, I do kind of want to talk about how the pacing of this book is simultaneously so slow. Not so slow like in a bad way, but it's slow. Yet there are so many time skips that's happening. Like the fact that we meet the main character and he's like 11, and then now he's in like his second year. I'm assuming second year of college? Halfway through his second year? Because it's Christmas time? I don't know how they do it. I know it's his second year at least, but... And it's only, like I said, chapter 11. I'm only on page 189. Like, so much time has passed, yet so little things in the story have really happened. A lot of tidbits, a lot of, like, I think setting up. I don't know. It's just something to know. It is Thursday! Yes, it's Thursday. I don't know if I said the day in the last clip, but yesterday was Wednesday, today's Thursday. I was gonna read during lunch, but then I realized I actually have no lunch, so I'm actively cooking during my lunch break. So that plan was scrapped. New plan is finish work at 5, do the chores I need to do today, try to read if I can, at least like 30 minutes, try to read before bed. Tomorrow is going to be a really heavy chore day because it's kind of a reset week for me, so a really heavy chore day. That way Saturday and Sunday I can just blow through Babel. I really want to get like 75% done by Sunday. That's where I want to be. I don't want to be lagging on this book because I feel like if I lag a little bit too much, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna DNF it because it is interesting, but I feel like my interest in it may like wane a little bit. Not that it's a bad book, but because it's slower paced, I may not be as inclined to read it. So that's the plan. That's the goal. I will hopefully see you maybe tonight, but if not tonight, Saturday. Hi, Pookie. Say hi. My reading buddy. It's only 9 o'clock right now, and I think I can maybe get another 50 pages in for tonight. Oh my goodness, girl. I know the book eats, but don't literally eat it. She's falling off the chair. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get 50 more pages in. I don't know. I have like not bad feelings about this story so far. I'm enjoying it, but I have so many mixed feelings. She really is trying to... I have mixed feelings, I guess I should say. I'm just like really wondering... I'm just really wondering where this story is going. I think that's kind of what's like making it hard for me to want to get into this. There isn't really anything driving the plot. There is no plot driver. It's just a lot of Robin experiencing school, experiencing life. He's still very kind of like emotionally immature, so just like experiencing that and learning more about Babel, the institution itself. There's not a lot of like conflicts really happening, just a lot of like, this is bad, or this is a very like bad thing Babel does, and then just like leaving it and moving on, and then we're like moving forward in the timeline. So I think that is just throwing me off a little bit. Alright, it's late for me, so I'm gonna call it a night. I'm about halfway through page 237. I'm hoping it's going to be a scenario where like all these little things are building up between the side characters and Robin and Griffin and the professors and all that, and then there's like kind of a big blowout. But I don't know. She has multiple cat beds, but this is her preferred bed. Right, Haku? Alright, I'm gonna leave now. Bye. I know I look like a wet dog right now, but so much unreal stuff has happened. I'm on page 343. I don't remember what page I left off filming. Maybe 230, 240? I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a while for sure. I'm on chapter 20, okay? They're back in England. Minor spoilers. They're back in England after visiting China. If you've read this book, you know where I'm at. It really took a turn that I mean, okay. I'm not surprised at what happened. I'm just surprised it happened, like, at this point in the book. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I have 200 pages to go. Do I even have 200 pages to go? How many pages are in this book? 542. I have 200 pages to go. I'm literally at a loss for words. I'm quite literally at a loss for words at what just occurred. I don't know. Now I really don't know what is gonna happen. I didn't know before. Like, there wasn't a lot of buildup on this venture to China and on their way back. But I didn't think it would be that. I understand why it happened, but Robin, I didn't expect a full breakdown. To be frank, I didn't expect the full breakdown. My feelings on this book are still mixed because, wow, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I just read something that was like so much for shock value without, in my opinion, like adequate buildup. And the same can be said about his conflict with Rami and, I don't know if her name's not Victoria, but Victory? Maybe it's Victory. I'm gonna call her Victory. Like his kind of conflict and issue with them that happens on their way to China. That I didn't really vibe with. I could see where Rami was coming from, but I definitely sided with Robin more and his stance on it more. And then, you know, they kind of reconciled, and now they really reconciled. After the events of the voyage back, they really reconciled. I'm literally so lost to, like, I don't know, I'm really into the book now. Mainly because I'm just so shocked at what happened. Which, I don't know if that's a good testament to, like, the actual book, or if that's just, like, a testament to again, like the plot, like the plot point, the climax of the story, like I don't even know. I'm literally, where do you go from here? What am I gonna do next? What am I gonna read next? What is Robin gonna do next? Is Griffin okay? Is Griffin alive? That's another question. Is Griffin alive? I'm gonna keep reading tonight. I'm hoping I'm gonna get up to page 400. Where's page 400? Maybe like this much? Oh, that's asking a lot. Okay, maybe not 400. Maybe like 380 at least. I don't know. We're gonna check in. We're gonna check in soon. I'm just sorry. I know this is incoherent and I literally look like an absolute mess, but I just couldn't not record. I know that's not correct grammar, but I just couldn't ignore the camera and not record my honest, true reaction to the events that happened around chapter 18, I believe, is when it actually happened. So, yay! We love a good dark academia story. Emphasis on dark. Okay, so I'm calling it a night on chapter 25. I have literally 100 pages left, give or take. There's so much to process. Actually, so much to process. There's just so much. I can't even say. I don't want to spoil. There's just so much happening. I don't understand how Robin is ever actually going to recover. I think Robin is literally going to go psycho by the end of this book. If he hasn't already. Like, he's already kind of going psycho. I think he's going to have a true psychotic break. A third one. Because now he's at 2. A third one. I really didn't predict any of this happening. Actually, I didn't know where this would go. This wasn't where I thought it would go. I don't know. Is this making up for the first 250 slow pages? No. But at least it's a little more interesting at this point. At least it's more interesting at this point. If it's not tomorrow, this book is going to be done by like Monday. That's the goal. Monday. So a little over a week of reading. Man, what a crazy story. Okay. It's Sunday. I read a little bit this morning before church, but we are in the final stretch, y'all. I have 80 pages to go. 80 pages to go? Yeah, they're back in the tower. To be as vague as possible, they're back in Babel after the whole incident with Letty and Griffin. Don't want to talk about Griffin, but after Griffin and the old library and everything, they're finally back in the tower. I'm nervous, and I really think this is only going to go one way, which I have mixed feelings about, but I'm going to finish it. It's going to be done today, and we'll talk about it afterwards. I'm done. Wow. I'm gonna say I did kind of expect the ending with Robin right around page 400. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't think there was gonna be a way that he could make it make it unscathed. I also didn't expect as much death that occurred in this book, to be frank. I didn't think there was gonna be that much death. There's a lot of death in this book. It got dark so fast. But to be honest, I am leaning, if we're talking about rating, I am leaning more towards like a 3.5 star. I know that's harsh because people either really love this book or really hate this book, but I am leaning towards like a 3.5. But I am going to marinate on it a little bit. I'm just now realizing I like scuffed up my spine so bad. But oh my gosh, and the front. It just kind of blends in. Anyways, I have a lot of mixed feelings that I need to sort through, but right now I'm feeling 3.5. And then once I write everything down, we're gonna come back and we're gonna go over what I liked, what I didn't like, and just go from there real quick.
it may contain a little bit of spoilers, so if you haven't read Babel yet and you're really interested in it, I would maybe watch that with a word of caution. But I just need to take this evening to kind of like write everything out, go over it, because honestly the last 2/5 of this book really just were a lot to take in compared to the first 250 pages. So all I wanted was Robin to be happy, to be frank. That's all I wanted. And even in the end, he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy. He literally got worse. It deteriorated. Oh my goodness. It deteriorated. Like, can you tell I'm in shock? Can you tell I'm in shock with the direction of this book? Because I'm in shock.
I've stewed. I've thought about it. I really marinated on Babel, and we're gonna get into the review portion now of the book. I'm gonna try really hard to not say spoilers in case anyone who is watching this hasn't read it yet. I know it came out a while ago, but still, you know, people get to books whenever they get to them. I don't blame you. A 3. I started with a 3.5, but I think after today I've been leaning more towards a 3. I know whomever may be watching this is wondering how is that possible, because the praise for this book really is abundant. Even though it only has like a 4.1 or something like that on Goodreads, most people love this book when they talk about it. They love this book. I just couldn't, I think, for one really valid reason, which we'll get to, but we're gonna start with what I liked first. The first thing I liked was the dark academia vibes. I think it did a really good job of being a true dark academia book. And I know the author has gone to Oxford, I believe, so I'm not surprised that she really hit the nail on the head, but it was a true dark academia book, so if you love dark academia, I think you would probably love this book for that reason. Second thing I liked, it really made me want to learn languages. It makes you really appreciate language and the art of translation and the whole theme of how things get lost in translation, and that I loved how it really emphasized the importance of language to a culture, to a group of people, because we think of language so easily as something just is to communicate to people who understand us, when in reality, like, language can open doors for us to communicate to people of all walk of life. So I really loved that. I love the emphasis on language. The third thing I liked is that it did do a good job as well of showing exploitation and the effects that the British Empire had during this specific time period, during the 1800s. But in that same token, it also, this is kind of where we're getting into the things I didn't like, but it also was so heavy-handed, in my opinion. It kind of talks to you as if you have no idea what racism is. You have no idea about the effects of colonization. It really does speak to, like, to this imaginary reader who kind of just has no clue the effects that history had on language and culture and people, not just in other countries, but also poor people in England, or even, like, if we apply it to America, poor people in America, and the effects of the Industrial Revolution. I think the author really wanted to make sure people understood how bad those things were, but after a while, it kind of just feels like you're getting beat over the head with, like, this is really bad. This is really bad. Look how bad this person, like, I know it's really bad, right? I know it's really bad. That's, like, the first thing. I liked it and didn't like it. Like, at first, I was like, wow, she's actually doing a really good job of bringing these to light, and then by, like, 250 pages, 300 pages, I was like, okay, I'm getting it. The people are horrible. The people of this time frame are horrible, and that's that. Like, what else is there? It left me wondering, what else is there? That kind of leads me into my second thing I didn't like, because it's really tied also to, again, what is there in this book besides being told this was really bad? I'm thinking the characters, right? The character stories themselves must really carry this book. For me, it didn't. For me, it didn't. I know a lot of people cry when they finish this book. Not to say that the ending isn't sad. Not to say, again, that horrible things didn't happen in this book, that you're reading about a lot of violence. I mean, it's literally, I don't know if it's not on my cover, but it's literally called Babel, or the Necessity of Violence. Like, I understand There's a lot of violence for a reason. And I'm sad at the act of violence, but I'm not sad for the characters, if that makes sense. Because throughout all 540 pages of this book, I could not connect to them because they were so flat in my mind. It's not until maybe after the 3/5 of the book, when you're in book 3, like around page 300 or something, that you really get the first section or chapter in regards to a specific character outside of Robin, the main character. You don't get any background on them as a person, as an individual, until you're already, like, things are going down in the book. Like, things are going downhill. I didn't have any connection to these characters. It was like whiplash. Because one second we're in Oxford and we're being told, right? Because we're not shown this. We're being told that they're besties, that they're found family, that they love each other, that they've grown this beautiful understanding. And then all of a sudden, crap hits the fan, literally. And it's like, actually, our foundation isn't that strong. And things just crumble so quickly that when it does, and the author starts putting in those anecdotes from the other characters' perspectives, it feels like you're making up for lost time. I'm still, like, not connected to them enough. At this point in the story, we're already 60% through. I'm not connected enough to them to care necessarily that these things are happening, outside of the fact that I'm caring about this. This is a lot of violence. I didn't have really any roles outside of the roles that they were meant to play. That was it. That's what they did. And there was no further nuance, gray area, nothing outside of that. Which ties into my first dislike, that it just feels like you're being hit over the head with, this is a bad stereotype, this is a bad thing someone said, this is a bad thing that happened, and there's nothing else besides that. I was just left wanting more. I wanted more of the characters. I wanted more of a deeper understanding of how they found this family. I wanted to understand why they were more so upset with Letty, and how because you're told in the book that they tried with Letty and that they tried to convince her, but we don't see that. We're told that they tried to convince her, but we don't see it. So I'm trying to be understanding and feel this pull to the characters and feel this pain as much as I'm supposed to feel, and I don't have it because we were never shown it. What we were shown was just, this is horrible. Their family, and now their family is crumbling. And it's especially telling when I get to the end and I understand it's a sad ending, and I understand why it is, but that I feel still left wanting more, not because I want Robin necessarily to keep fighting. Like, I do. I wish it would have been more of a story of him still fighting with Victoria, and then they go on, because the fight still has to happen. There's still more to do. But it just left me wanting more, in the sense that I feel like I got more of a historical retelling of real life events versus a story of these 4 people during this time period and how they handled all of these events. For those reasons, I love the idea, but I just couldn't rate it anything higher really than a 3. And the fact is that this is definitely a book I can't recommend to everyone. I just can't, because it's so hard to get through at certain points, especially when we're talking about like pages 200 to 350, where it feels like you're literally sitting in the lecture. Great to some, really boring and a snooze fest to others. To wrap it all up, because I know I'm probably rambling, the pacing was off for me. Really couldn't connect to the characters because their depth was just not there. They were designed for specific roles, and that's really it. And then it really did feel like it was just pushing one point without acknowledging other aspects that go along with that point. For that reason, I couldn't give it. This is not a 4-star read to me or a 5-star read to me. I left really feeling so disappointed, which is so sad, because again, I was, this is a loved book. Like, people love this book, and I love books with not just dark academia vibes, but talk about these differences and these issues, and I love the nuances that come along with these kind of topics and themes discussed in this book, but the nuance just wasn't there. Was left feeling really disappointed, to be frank. That being said, I'm still going to read Poppy War, because I do think most people love Poppy War more than Babel. So I'm not writing her off completely as an author. I'm really interested in Poppy War. I'm hoping that one is gonna like turn it around for me. Between this and then after reading Powerless, I'm like really scared to read any other booktube, booktok, bookstuff, highly recommended book, because it's just, the disappointment is real. But anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I am a yapper. I'm also sometimes very incoherent and my ideas are half-baked and I just spit them out, so I'm sorry. I hope that made sense. And I hope you choose to stay. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.